I will show the hook from the side. It's also possible to take a small step forward and throw the hook. You can even execute a side step and then throw the hook. It's the same strike, but a different variation. If your opponent punches, then you can evade his strike using a side step and throw the hook at the same time. So it can be a very good counter when combined with footwork. Once again, you do not want to fling your arm way out to the side. And once you throw the strike, exit out to avoid your opponent's attacks. Now I'll demonstrate Mawashi Suki, or overhand, which is a very common punch in karate. However, most people open their elbow when they throw this punch, but we do not. We keep the punch tight until just prior to impact. It isn't until the last moment that we rotate our arm. So at the end of the strike, rotate your arm and strike with the first two knuckles of your hand. After you hit your target with the punch, you want to back away to avoid counter strikes. And you always want to keep your opposite hand up to protect your face. Now I will show you the uppercut. When you throw this punch, it is very important to use your hips to punch from bottom to top.
Chamada de hook. Você bate de baixo para cima. Muito importante nessa técnica.
To punch from bottom to top, to drive your fist upward into your target. Your opposite hand must stay up to protect your face.
Essa mão de guarda permanece em cima.
This punch can also be executed with your lead arm. In addition to throwing this punch to your opponent's chin, you can also target his stomach. And as I said previously, it can also be thrown with your lead arm. The uppercut can be thrown to your opponent's stomach or his face. Another good time to use the uppercut is when you throw a straight punch and your opponent drops low to shoot in for a takedown. As he lowers his level and comes forward, you throw the uppercut into his face. It is the same punch, but a different application. Now we'll show how to throw two uppercuts in a row while backing up. Notice how I strike from bottom to top. Now I'll show you shihaito, or ridge hand strike. You don't see this punch a lot in other martial arts, but it is utilized quite often in karate. With this technique, your weapon is the ridge of your hand.
Que se usa na hora do choque do golpe, na hora que você vai bater. É golpe aberto.
Although it's an open hand strike,
É golpe muito forte.
it can possess a lot of power and cause a lot of damage.
Permanece, você vai sair aqui, ó.
It's similar to the overhand strike, but now you keep your hand open. Here my opponent throws a right punch, and I enter using shihaito. I keep my opposite arm up to protect my face. This technique can also be used when you and your opponent are in opposite fighting stances, meaning you have opposite feet forward. The only difference now is that instead of throwing the strike with your lead hand, you use your rear hand. He throws a punch, and I counter with shihaito. The target for this strike is the side of your opponent's jaw and his neck. Now I show kuriki, or spinning back fist. To execute this technique, you trap your opponent's outstretched hand with your lead hand, rotate, and then hit him with the back fist. With this technique, you can utilize two different types of footwork. The first type is to slide your rear leg circularly across the mat as you rotate. The other type is to keep your back leg planted in its original position. The first method is better employed when you need to cover distance, and the second version is best when you're already within striking range. Always open your opponent's guard with your lead hand before executing this technique. This creates an opening for you to land your punch.
Depois não.
Now I will spar with my brother using the punching techniques I demonstrated throughout this section. Now we'll show what we call in karate jempi, or over-the-top elbow strike. I'll begin with my rear arm. A lot of people will use a side elbow strike, but we throw the elbow over the top because it makes it a lot easier to strike your opponent's face. If you throw the elbow from the side, it can get hung up on your opponent's arms. So, you strike over the top. While executing the strike, make sure to keep your opposite hand up to protect your face.
Mesma coisa com o braço da frente.
It is the same when you throw the strike with your lead arm. Again, it's